good morning, and welcome to episode number 310 of Simplifying Live with me, Shashank Nigam, your host and the CEO of Simplifying. When would you prefer or enjoy flying business class more than first class? That sounds weird, isn't it? But it's true. My friend Swanand used his miles to fly from India to Toronto via Japan on ANA, All Nippon Airlines, and one leg of his ticket, I believe, from Mumbai to Japan was on business class, and the next leg was from Japan to Chicago on first class. Now, he was, of course, very excited about it, and I told him, share with me how you feel and how you enjoyed your flight. We are all aviation geeks, so we love to talk about this stuff. And he came back, and what he shared with me sort of surprised me. Swanand told me that in business class, his meal was fantastic. When he boarded from Mumbai, he was hungry, his meal was great, the service was great, there was some nice elements of surprise that he wasn't expecting. He had a very sound sleep overnight, and when he landed in Tokyo, he was very excited, of course, about flying first class. And in first class, everything was just as expected. The flight attendants, arranged the slippers in the right manner every time he got up. They came and made the bed. They served the meals in the exact way he had expected. And when I say he'd expected, he had, of course, done a lot of reading before he went for the flight, as we aviation geeks tend to do. We love to read about trip reports, how people have flown, and Swanand, of course, excited about his first class flight, had read up a lot more about his first class than his business class flight. So guess what? He knew exactly what was coming, when it was coming, how he was going to feel, and ANA pretty much met expectations on first class. Whereas in business class, it was a different case. He had not researched as much into the business class experience, so the soup was a pleasant surprise. The other elements that were there really pleased him above and beyond what he was expecting. It's not that ANA was doing it better, it was because his expectations were lower. Therein lies a very important point. It's a point that I try to bring out in my book Soar, wherein brand expectations is an extremely important factor when it comes to an airline brand success. It's not just about setting high expectations and exceeding them. It might be about setting low expectations or no expectations at all and then exceeding them. The key is this delta between where the expectations are and where you deliver. For example, I flew last week on Swoop and did an episode on them as well. An ultra low-cost carrier in Canada which exceeded my expectations because, quite frankly, I had not expected much of them. It's the same that I hear from the likes who fly AirAsia or EasyJet for the first time. If they're used to flying business class all the time, they go, hey, wait a minute, EasyJet wasn't that bad. In fact, I love flying EasyJet whenever I'm in Toulouse, for example, for meetings with Airbus because they have so many direct connections. Or if I'm in Geneva, where they have a nice base. I love flying EasyJet connecting to a main hub and then flying back to Canada or to Singapore. That's the thing, that's the game. What Swanand felt was expectations for first class were very high and they were met. Expectations for business class were not there and they were exceeded. Hence he enjoyed the business class experience more. And therein lies the secret to a long-term success of an airline brand. Always exceed the expectations you're setting. Airlines are great at promising the world to people and then under-delivering. They are great at over-promising and under-delivering. Imagine, have you ever seen a billboard that did not show a flight attendant pulling a nice duvet over a customer or serving a platter of food, wherein the reality for most passengers is that they're sitting back in 64D with dinosaur hands, typing away and working, where all the airlines are promising are beautiful flight attendants serving great meals and a very, very comfortable experience. Fly the friendly skies, as one airline says, and doesn't always live up to it. So the key is to ensure that you exceed brand expectations. It's not about just setting very high or very low. It's about exceeding brand expectations. And that's exactly what happened in Swanand's case in business class versus first class. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will catch you tomorrow. Till then, have a great one. Bye-bye.